Hello everyone, my name is Alexa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the sixth book in the Disney Twisted Tales series called Mirror Mirror by Jen Kalunita. Oh, I hope I pronounced that right, but if you don't know, Disney takes your classic Disney films and adds a little twist to it. In this book, it takes a classic Disney film, Snow White, and the twist is, what if the evil queen poisoned the prince? As per usual, I will be going into a summary of this book, so I will be talking about spoilers. If you wish to avoid spoilers, I will leave a little timestamp in the description where you can skip to my overall rating and review of this book. With that said, let's get started. Mirror Mirror starts out with the introduction to Snow White's parents, King George and Queen Catherine, Anne, who is Snow White's friend, and this is basically everything that happens in the prologue, I believe. Queen Ingrid, who is the evil queen, Prince Heinrich / Henry, Snow White's lover, and the prince. Henry is asleep / cursed. And then Snow White was recognized and then caught. So basically it's like the prologue is foreshadowing what is to come towards the end. It's like a Shakespearean play, if I would summarize the whole book. If you're fans of Shakespeare, then you'll understand why the prologue is said first. Yes. So then we jump back 10 years earlier to a flashback of the evil queen is Snow White's aunt. Snow White is 17 years old, present day. Snow White's father married Ingrid not out of love, then he ran away, leaving Snow White behind. Snow White wished for love, and when she sang that in the wishing well, the prince appeared. The evil queen was watching the whole interaction between Snow White and the prince. Then we have another time jump 30 years earlier, the childhood for Snow White's mother, Catherine, and the evil queen. Their father, we get introduced to their father, who was a piece of shit. He basically hurt them all the time. Their mother was very much kind to them, but their father was not. After the father hurt Catherine and Ingrid, they ran away, and Ingrid vowed to protect her because Ingrid is the eldest. Then when when the huntsman brings Snow White out to the forest, and he basically tells her that the evil queen wants her dead, and also told her to run away, but he would also pretend like he would use the deer heart in place of Snow White's heart because that's what the evil queen wanted as proof. And then another time jump 24 years earlier, when Ingrid met with a man who is magical, and she became his apprentice. Also, no one notices her / pays attention, and she believes using fear equals power. She likes fear more than using love. So once the huntsman, then we return back to present day, and then when the huntsman admitted that the evil queen had her sister killed because she was jealous of her, and now she was jealous of Snow White. And then we go to another time jump backwards 23 years earlier, when Ingrid was learning magic, wants to never leave her sister behind. She found the magic mirror and saw how it came to be. Also, to use the magic mirror, you have to let it absorb your blood or something. That's kind of creepy. Yeah. And then we come back to the present day once again. Snow White met the 7 dwarves: Doc, Sleepy, Bashful, Grumpy, Sneezy, Happy, and Dopey. Snow White is planning to take back her kingdom with the help of the 7 dwarves and also other allies if possible. And so they come up with this whole plan to gather allies and to take back her kingdom for her. We do another time jump to 19 years earlier. Ingrid blamed Catherine for leaving her behind because Catherine is now married to Snow White's father. Basically Snow White's father took interest in Catherine after she made either brought apples to the castle or made something, but the king fell in love with Catherine after she did all that, and that's why Ingrid is upset. She's upset for leaving her behind, even though Catherine offered for her to stay at the castle. That's what it said. Catherine married King George. Ingrid wanted George out of the way, so Catherine would only be the sole ruler. Ingrid had her master killed, so she was free to bring the mirror to the castle because her master didn't want her bringing the mirror because he knows that the mirror is evil and it shouldn't be kept in her hands. And then 17 years earlier, we go to another time thing. Snow White was born, and then there's another back to present. Snow White plans to attack the castle within 2 weeks with sympathizers. Henry reunited with Snow White in the forest and told her that he found her father. And then we have another time jump back. 10 years earlier, Ingrid still gives her lifeblood to the mirror so she can appear younger than her years. Catherine found out about the mirror. Ingrid would rather kill her sister than get rid of the mirror. Snow's father left not by choice. He was banished / dark magic made him leave and never to return. Back into present day, the huntsman says, "Long live the rightful queen," which is Snow White, and so then the huntsman is placed in prison or probably executed. But then after he says that, the mirror begins to crack. Yes. And then Snow White is eventually reunited with her father and explained to him what happened to Catherine because she knows that her aunt killed her mother. Then we're back to 10 years earlier. Ingrid could feel when the mirror is awake, haunted by the ghost of her sister and former master. Snow had found the mirror when she was a small child, and Ingrid didn't want the mirror to harm Snow White, which is surprising because even though she killed her sister, I guess that's because Snow White is the really only thing she has left of her sister. And then Ingrid transformed into the old hag and wants to poison / kill Snow. So that's when we get to the horror, trekking through the forest and trying to find the dwarf's cabin. Snow and Henry talk about their childhoods and inform the dwarves about Snow's father. They suspect the mirror and the evil queen are one / can't have one without the other. The evil queen arrived at the dwarves' cottage, but no one's home, so she failed to poison Snow. And then Ingrid found out that they're at this weird cavern thing, so Ingrid is going to bury them in the mines. However, even though she thinks that they're all dead, Snow, Henry, and the dwarves survived. Then, as a last resort, the queen issued a royal decree calling Snow a traitor and issued a bounty on her head. Then they met with someone who are friends with the dwarves named Kurt and Fritz, and their meeting isn't going well. Then they plan on tying Snow up and turning her into the evil queen. However, Anne, who was Snow White's childhood friend, vowed for Snow and helped rally the people with Snow to take back the castle. Ingrid decided that she was going to move on to harm Henry. Henry and Snow meet with another enchantress named Leonetta, who will offer them a disguise to get close enough to the castle. However, once they enter, the disguise will be null and void. And then the storming of the castle is in full swing. The evil queen is becoming one with the mirror. She plans on capturing Snow's father. She thinks love is weak. Again, fear is more powerful than love. Over 100 people rallied behind Snow thanks to the dwarves, and then we find out King George was captured. Henry was the first to arrive into the castle because he's going to try to blend in with the others, even though the disguise is not important anymore. However, the evil queen knows where he is, so she follows him into, or goes into, where all the servants and the cooks prep food, and she poisons Henry now that he's alone. Henry ate the poisoned apple. Now we're caught up to the prologue. Henry is in the coffin and Snow is captured / caught. Snow confronts Ingrid and the people begin attacking the castle. Snow shattered the mirror with Henry's pocket knife. The mirror tried to bargain with her. Ingrid, and then after the mirror is destroyed, the evil queen is still stuck as the old hag, unfortunately, but Ingrid will be tried for her crimes in solitary confinement. Her guards were also being taken away, and the villagers took the castle. Snow White woke Henry up due to true love's kiss, and a few months later, Snow was crowned queen by her father. To end it off, Snow opened up the castle to everyone, and both Henry and Snow plan on getting married in the distant future. And that is all that happened in Mirror Mirror. Overall rating for this book is a 5-star. I really enjoyed this book. I love the Shakespearean elements thrown in here, and it gave me a very Macbeth vibe, especially when the evil queen is being haunted by the ghosts. Yeah, if you know any, or if you read or watched the Scottish play of Macbeth, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, I would recommend this book if you love Snow White, the movie, if you love any of the characters in Snow White, if your favorite villain is the evil queen. There's more of a backstory for her, and she's a very tragic character, I would say. She's, I don't know, it's just sad. Let's see. Oh, and if you love any Shakespearean plays, then this book might be for you. Like I said before, it's very Shakespearean in a way. And that's about it. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more from me, then please hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments below if you loved this book or what you didn't like about this book, or if you also thought that there was some Shakespearean element in this book. I think next time I'll talk about the seventh book, I believe, in the Twisted Tale series, the Conceal Don't Feel, I believe, the one with Elsa and Anna. But until next time, bye friends.